Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Five Boys in a Business, a podcast where we talk about the business, our family, and the many shenanigans involved. You can catch us most Mondays around 10:30, 11, live or on any of the podcast channels, which are
Google Podcasts
iTunes
and Google Podcast.
and Spotify, just to name a few.
Just a few.
And don't forget to check out the merch store at asvcmerch.com because we do have some long sleeve shirts as well as hats coming into the cooler part of the year.
And it's definitely cooler.
And for all of those young youngsters out there, we've got the onesies, which we've been posting a couple pictures of some clients with the babies in the onesies, and they're absolutely adorable. So
The COVID babies are on the way, I'm quite certain.
COVID
So stock
babies
up.
are on the way. Yes, so I'm Emily King.
I'm
and
Richie King.
Richard King. Harrison King's behind the
Behind the
mic on the backside.
control panel.
And we're here again this week. So
yeah, big weekend. We just a little bit of background. We usually cook a big dinner for everybody on Sunday, and this past Sunday was no exception. We cooked a very large dinner. Hats off to Emily for doing such a wonderful job on the pie and the mashed potatoes and the green beans. The pie was fantastic.
that pie was one of the best pies I've had for a while.
Yeah, and we made a brisket for the first time on our Traeger. Took about 8 hours, 8.5, something like that.
Yeah.
We started at 8 a.m., 8:20 or so. Traeger performed flawlessly, thank God, after replacing basically every part. Yep. Except for the Traeger logo plate on the front of the thing. We've replaced pretty much every part on there. It does work well now, and the brisket came out fantastic. Flavor was great. It was a combination of just basically a dry rub. It was the coffee rub and then Mexican cocoa, where we had to find a substitute for that.
Yep.
That worked out really well. And let's see what else.
Let's go back to the pie.
Okay, well, I was going to segue
you
over
were
to the pie.
Pie. The pie was great. I got it from a recipe off of the internet from, I think the name of the website was It Tastes Better Homemade or Homemade Tastes Better or something like that, I think.
Yeah.
And it was a chocolate cream pie, which I was really making for Johnny because every Sunday we make dinner and Johnny always ends up wanting something other than what I'm making. And I was like, you know what? This Sunday I'm going to make Johnny a chocolate cream pie because he really likes chocolate cream pie.
He ate it, didn't he?
He did, but he was so full that he actually did eat the brisket this Sunday.
Right.
And his second meal of chicken tenders and then tried to eat the chocolate cream pie.
Well, I wonder why.
It had an Oreo crust, and it was so good.
Yeah, when he was down there, he lost all credibility when he said, "This isn't good food. Chick-fil-A is good food." I'm like, "This is brisket versus Chick-fil-A." What?
Yes.
So anyway, the pie was great. Emily and I have kind of gotten the past few weeks into pie making and looking at how specialty crusts are made and whatnot. And tell us about your specialty crust you made for this particular pie.
Well, let me just tell you, it was super duper easy because it was Oreos.
Yeah, Oreo, yeah.
Oreos and butter. Nothing's better than Oreos and butter.
Yeah, it stuck. I thought it stuck together nicely when we were cutting it and got out nicely. And the chocolate filling was really good too. It was very unique.
It was like homemade chocolate pudding.
It reminded me of like legit
Do you know
chocolate
what?
pudding.
Holden froze his because he was also too full to eat. Or no, he was freezing it because he wanted to make it like thicker.
Yeah.
And when he got it out, I don't know if these were around, Harrison, when you were little or not, but do you remember those Jell-O, the Bill Cosby Jell-O frozen?
Oh, Frozen Pops.
Frozen
Yeah.
Pops. Did you have those, Harrison, when you were younger?
No.
They were Jell-O, chocolate Jell-O
that was like
pudding.
an 80s, early 90s thing.
And that is what it reminded me of, that frozen. When Holden froze it, and then he was like, "Here, you got to try this now that it's frozen." It tasted like Bill Cosby's Jell-O Pops.
My mom used to buy those.
Do you have a picture of those, Harrison? Oh my God, the commercials for those were great. Jell-O pudding pops. There they are. Are they even a thing anymore? Can you even buy those? Jell-O. Look at that horrible picture of Bill Cosby. Okay, so
Now they know that's a creeper face.
I'm in shape.
oh my gosh, yeah, those were good. Oh boy, we
used to get that. My mom used to buy those and get so mad because my brother and I would basically devour all of them. It would be like a half and eaten one left in the box.
Well, and this pudding, you made it scratch, so it wasn't like from a box, pudding from a box. You made the pudding like from scratch, and it was really good.
Really?
I didn't
How'd you
realize
do
how
that?
easy it was to make. Huh?
How'd you do that?
You just use milk, sugar, and then you use, like, we used semi-sweet chocolate chips, and then we used butter and vanilla, and you just bring it to a boil so it thickens, and then you just
weird.
refrigerate it, and then it solidifies as you refrigerate it.
Oh, bizarre. I had no idea. I thought the only way to make Jell-O was...
And then homemade whipped cream topping on the top, which is also
good.
exceptionally easy.
Yeah. So that was fantastic.
So it was a super easy pie recipe.
We made 2 crusts. We were planning on making 2 pies and then save one of the crusts, but then we got toward the end of the day, and I was like, we have enough pie. We have enough food. We don't need an additional pie.
Yeah.
So we put those 2 crusts away, and we plan to use those maybe this week sometime. We'll see. But on the subject of pies, we, like I said, we've been researching pie crusts and how to make them and from scratch and whatnot, and we came across a YouTube video from a lady named Paula Haney, I think is her name, and she has 2 pie shops in Chicago and a company called Hoosier Mama Pie Company, and we used her recipe to the T for those 2 pie crusts, and they turned out pretty much the way they do in the video.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And they have a nice nice texture to them, and I'm hopeful that they'll turn out nice. So they look much more like they reminded me of pizza skins as she was making them. Very pliable, and
Right.
lift them up and mess around with them and stuff. They're all butter. Basically, it's flour and butter.
Yeah, it's pretty simple.
Yeah, and then and we watched a video of hers promoting her company. It was actually, I think, the Chicago Tribune did a profile of her company, and it's really cool what they do in Chicago. The different kinds of pies they make, specialty pies. So it's neat. And she's native of Indiana and an IU grad from 1986.
Yep.
So
there she is.
there
right
it
there.
is.
Yep.
And I just bought her book. So
We've
we'll
got to
have lots more
see if
pies
we
to
can
come.
get her on the podcast. That's one of our goals.
Yeah, that'd be really cool.
Is to see if we can get her on the podcast, because her feeling behind like why she ended up doing pies is fun to listen to. So anyway,
She said on there that she didn't realize that people didn't eat pie basically every day.
right?
And she's like, oh, I guess I'm the only one who does this. And she was a pastry chef at a high-end restaurant in Chicago before she started this company. But per her bio, she would sell pies on the weekends at a kind of a quasi-farmer's market there in Chicago. And that's how she kind of said, well, this is what I want to do. And she said the first day that she opened, she's like, I don't know how this is going to go. And they had to close early because they ran out of pies. So it's good. So she's been cranking it for...
That's like Union Jack's down in Westfield. They closed early or something. Betsy, my sister, and I were talking because they basically ran out of dough.
Really?
They ran out of dough. They were so, which I love the Union Jacks. I've yet to go.
We haven't had that in 20 years.
Yeah, and
at least. We lived
I'm
in Granger,
super
I think.
pumped. What did you say?
I think we lived in Granger last time because that was when Missy lived down in Broad Ripple.
Well, Missy and I drove down there when we lived, I don't remember when it was, but Missy and I drove down there, waited in the bar for the pizzas, and then drove back with the pizzas
That's
for
true.
her family.
I
And
just
our
haven't
family.
been there forever.
But we haven't been in the restaurant forever. But yeah.
It's like a throwback, if my memory
So I'm
serves.
super excited to go to Union Jack's because I love their pizza.
Lisa Sidner said cold butter is key.
Oh, Lisa, you are right. It is
Speaking
cold butter.
of cold butter, we had an education because she splits up the recipe into 2 facets, and she uses a food processor in her video, but we just had a hand thing. Okay, so I bought all this stuff for us to make pies, so I have lots of tools and implements to put this together. So the first half of her video is you put all the flour. I think it's 2 1/4 cups of flour, all-purpose flour, and then you put 9 tablespoons of butter, like refrigerated butter. But then the key is then to take 5 additional tablespoons and put it into the freezer, cut into cubes.
Yep, freeze
And
the butter.
that made a difference because it did firm up nicely. So, and that there, it's funny because she said in this video, she talks about that slicer and she goes, I bought this at a pizza supply warehouse and I don't know what it's for. And I told Emily, I was like, when I worked at little Mr. Gaddy's 1,000 years ago, that's how we'd make the dough. You'd prep the dough, roll it out, and then you'd slam it with that to get the uniform shape.
Yeah.
So that's what that is. It's actually a dough cutter for pizza.
Oh my God, is that an apple pie?
Yeah,
Well, it's like
that's actually a pear cherry pie, I think she says in the thing. But her apple pies look really good.
She has like a meat pie in there. It looks really good.
Yeah.
So I think we're going to stay quite busy. I plan to make a pie a week for Sundays.
That's your goal. Make a pie
for
a week.
Sundays.
Yep.
So yeah, it's cool. And then what is the pie? The Indiana pie? What is it called? Sugar
cream pie.
And she said this is the ugliest pie ever.
It is
And-
pretty ugly, but it's
and
supposed to taste really good.
Yeah. So it's pretty cool. It'd be interesting to see how that goes. We have to put the big mixer to use that we got last year for different whatever. So it should be pretty cool.
Yeah.
I'm excited. And so, yeah, that was it. So a big day on Sunday. Everybody came over. The boys were loud and ribbing each other as usual, which is always fantastic. And, Everybody had we killed that. Was a 10-pound brisket gone, totally gone. I was like, it was like, we have lots of stuff here. We can make extras. And every time I look over, there's a little bit more gone, a little bit more gone. And then at the end, there's like little scraps. I was like, the whole thing is gone. Wow.
Yeah. I'm glad they like it. That's the whole
absolutely
thing. It's fun.
No more pie either. So it's great. I mean, that's the nice thing is you don't wind up with a ton of stuff.
Right.
I thought your potatoes were fantastic and the green beans are awesome. So
also this weekend we had Holden go to semi-state and cross country with the team. The entire Guerin team made it to semi-state.
They ran at Shelby. I don't remember the name of the course.
Blue
Moon? Blue River? Something like that.
And it's a really pretty park. Harrison and I and Madeline ran around the course through brush and tall brambles because it's just something I've liked to do ever since Harrison ran cross country as a 7th or 8th grader. And I love just running around the course, cheering them on.
It's been way before that.
I'd like to think that it helps. It probably doesn't.
They're
probably just horribly annoyed by me.
We'd be erased, and I'd sit there with the bad baby. It was like, da, 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 da. So I'd turn around. I was like, hey, what's that? Gone. Ghosted. No idea where she was at.
So I jog all over the place, and Harrison and Madeline jogged with me this past time. That was fun. And so their team made it out of semi-state. So their team had never been to semi-state before. They got to semi-state. The team has never been to state, and now they are going to state. It is so awesome. Cool. They get to go to state. So pretty exciting. Johnny is an alternate. So he's one of the varsity boys, and they are heading on to state. First
next
time
Saturday.
in school history.
It's a big deal. Long.
So we're super
in Terre Haute,
excited.
because it has to be in Terre Haute.
Because it's in Terre Haute.
It's too bad that Central Indiana. See if everybody comes to Central Indiana.
Well, that's how it was when I was growing up. When we ran state with Carmel, we were at a golf course downtown somewhere. Not downtown. It was but it was not. It was like on the central to southern part of Indianapolis.
I wonder why they have it there.
Is it west side? I can't remember.
I wonder why they have it in Terre Haute. Something.
It was at a golf course. Probably because the school it's so big now. Maybe I don't know.
Right. It can't be that big though.
But it was awesome. It was a great experience when I was there, and now I'm so excited the kids get to participate in it. So
Madeline has a newfound love for cross country because of all the support, and every single time she's only going to these past two, but every single time she's gone, she's like, I have goosebumps. Literally, once they start, like, Kirsten, I just have goosebumps. I'm like, so it goes.
is. It's unlike anything else. It's really fun. I like it when people always had the cowbells.
Oh yeah.
Going and
it's a simple sport too. I mean, the races are about 15-20 minutes.
Yeah.
It's not like you're there for 3 hours like swimming, or all day like swimming, I guess, or something else like that. So it's a cool, and it's a, in terms of gear and things like that, it's basically just shoes. I mean, it's shorts maybe. It's not. I will say though, I think even though it's a quick and simple sport, the amount of training and hours they put in are unbelievable.
Oh heavens, yeah.
I mean, it's shocking the miles they put in, and it's hats off to those guys.
And it's been fun. These guys there's 5 of them that are seniors, right? Dom, Gavin, Holden,
5 or 6,
Shrami, and Austin. Those 5 are seniors, and then 1 sophomore, Ethan. Right. So and then 1 other younger. McNeely's son, Big Mac, is younger too. So there's 5 of them and 2 younger kids, and these 5 seniors have been trying to get to this point.
Right.
So it's really cool now as seniors that they got there, that they set this goal when they were freshmen,
right, and
now they've gotten this, to achieve that, which I think is great, regardless of what they do with their running as adults or whatever.
Forward. That's a big deal.
They were able to do that.
It is something else I'm amazed at is the speed and level of fitness these guys have at that age.
Yeah.
I mean, it's unbelievable. You see how fast they're, the one kid that ran from from Carmel, let them meet in Shelbyville, it just blew everybody away.
Yeah.
I mean, one dude was maybe 5 seconds behind him, if that, and was actually hanging with him throughout the race. But I think Holden said the winning time was 15:18 or something, just nuts.
Right.
So hats off to those guys. And there's always 1 or 2 people that are like deer. They just
go.
They don't even look like they're tired.
Yeah.
And they're killing everybody. light on their feet and everything. So.
And then Bridget Gallagher went for the girls. She's a single going by, independent runner going to state.
Oh, really?
So we have one girl there, and then the boys team. So
And then this coming Saturday in Terre Haute
on Halloween,
whoop,
whoop.
and they're staggering the races. So the girls, isn't there something
11
weird?
and 3. It's like they're really far apart. I think for crowds to decrease the amount of crowds. So. Yeah,
That's a weird course too, because it's like out in the middle of nowhere.
it's really hilly. It's a hard course to run.
Right.
I think it's a hard course.
But you get off the interstate and you drive this legit back road.
Harrison, did you guys run there when you were running? I feel like you ran at that course in Terre Haute. Did you run that course? Do you remember?
Maybe.
I don't
I'm
remember
not sure.
running there. I don't
Yeah.
recall ever going there. I think Holden's the first one that I remember.
Running there?
Because I remember the one time, this is a funny story. I'd never been to that course before, so I put it in my maps. And I'm like, I'm never really late for those things. And I was driving, and I was like, I have no idea where this place is. It sent me somewhere out in a cornfield. I'm like, I have no idea where this place is. And I get there, and of course I get there after Holden's like walking it off because he'd finished his race.
Oh, I remember that. That's
so,
right.
So I couldn't find it. And then what happened was I pulled it up.
It leads you. It's not on the map. It's
Well,
on
it's
Google
like,
Maps.
it's like the actual address that came up on the map was not right.
Right.
So, so I missed his first race there, but I've been to several times since then. We've
Right.
been, I think it was last year. No, it wasn't state because they didn't make it there, but we went to a race, or I did. I don't remember where you guys were, where you were, but they had like food trucks all over the place, and people had campers. I mean, it was a big deal.
Yeah.
People show up and with their RVs and whatnot. It was the Nike. That's what it was.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's probably a Midwest regional meet
Yeah.
of some sort.
So it's cool. It's a nice place to go, and it's not too far away. It's about an hour 30, hour 45.
Yeah.
It's not too bad. So yeah, it's very exciting for those guys, and hopefully they'll do well. It's a nice thing about cross country is that as the season goes on, it gets cooler and cooler. So, and especially in Indiana, even though it's hilly, I mean, none of the courses are really horrific.
Right.
So yeah, that's it.
Okay.
So yeah, we have a lot going on. Halloween. Any big plans for Halloween?
Calvin is going to attempt to be Midas from Fortnite.
Because he wore his Spider-Man suit out because he puts it on every single day.
He does, which that was the best $20 I ever spent.
And he climbs on the shed roof and everything's all pulled and pilled and.
Yep. So, but he wants to be Midas. Harrison, do you have a picture of what Midas looks like?
He's pulling it up.
There he is, right there, Midas from Fortnite. So we are going to attempt to replicate Midas because he has a First Communion outfit, and so he's wearing his First Communion outfit with the sleeves rolled up, and then we're going to attempt to paint his arms yellow or gold, and his hair black.
What's the weather?
He's actually going to look like a really cool Midas if I can pull it off, because his hair is a little bit longer now, so I can slick it back like that. And
we gotta get his hair cut. It looks bad.
And so it's gonna be cool. I'm super excited that Halloween's on a Saturday.
Yeah, that's
because we are going to take the gator out.
So of course, it's during COVID, and they have all these rules and suggestions and stuff.
They don't have any rules; they're just suggestions.
Yeah.
But we're going to take the gator out and
put a speaker in the
Trevor's service vehicle and put a speaker, and they're going to play songs about candy and.
Yeah. It'll be fun.
He's super excited. Oh my God, it's hilarious. So his big brothers are going to drive him around, and
it'll be.
He's got all these plans about when he comes back to the gator with the candy, and he puts it in the bucket. He's like, "Can I have 4 buckets in the back of the cart?" And I was like, "Sure."
4 buckets.
Like, when I put the candy in the back of the cart, Johnny's gonna hit play on the speaker, and it's gonna sing that song. That song, Harrison. You know what song I'm talking about? The candy song, and he's like, "It's gonna be amazing," and I was like, "Sure thing." But
the most amazing part is we don't have to walk around. It'll be great.
It will be great because the boys we're gonna
finally outsource that function.
Put some lights on the gator, some pumpkin lights on the gator, and I'm sure we're gonna get yelled at about that. And then
whatever.
Get so
get tired of people belly aching.
So it's gonna be fun.
My King household is also throwing a fat rager, so if anybody watching wants to show up, feel free.
A what? At your house? A fat rager?
But you have to come in costume.
What are you going to be, Harry?
And Madeline are being Indiana Jones and Marion.
What are you going to do about a hat?
I already got one.
You did? Where'd you get it?
I have all my stuff. I have my hat. I have a hat, a satchel, the whip, the button-down shirt. I got everything. So,
oh my gosh.
That's cool. It's
That's
so
gonna
funny
be a
because you
blast.
look at those movies now, and I love those movies. They're so much a part of our childhood. But you watch them now, and you go, that's probably not archaeologically correct. You're going to just snatch something. Anyway.
Your party is going to be fun to just go look at everybody because everybody's dressing up as things like group, like two things.
My good friend Casey, him and his girlfriend are dressing up as Curious George and the yellow man, I think. Is
the
his
yellow
name.
guy. I don't know what that guy's name is.
And
Man with the yellow hats. All I remember.
Me and Madeline's original idea for them was Jack and the Beanstalk. And Casey could just paint himself green, put leaves on him, and Katie could just get on his back.
That would have been hilarious. Oh my god!
Mind you, my friend Casey's like 6'8", so
Is he that tall, really? I thought he was only 6'6".
Oh, he looks like he's 6'8". I could buy 6'8". Yeah.
Good God.
Yeah, he's huge. He's
Awfully
tall and
His
skinny.
parents, his mom, his dad's really tall.
And so is his mom. Yeah.
His sister's super tall. She's like 6+ feet. So yeah,
Very cool.
it's unusual. So yeah, that's a big deal. What's the weather supposed to be Halloween? Do you know?
I have no
it's
idea.
supposed to be pretty good. So
Is it really?
I feel like for the first time in a very long time, it's going to be good weather. It's supposed to be sunny, so.
I remember one year I have a habit of buying way too much candy. I've since corrected that in the recent years. But one year I had way too much candy, and these kids it was like 9 o'clock. Kids are starting to peter out coming to the house. So these kids had come, last like 4 or 5 kids, and I was like, "Here, just take the bag." And they're like, "What?" Just throwing them huge bags of candy.
Oh gosh.
So yeah, I'm sure their mothers were very pleased. But I was like, I can't have this here. My dentist bill's already big enough for the kids. So
Yeah, that's for sure.
I think the dentist and the sugar industry conspire at some point during the year to make sure that sugar intake is
At its high.
considerable.
Practice builders.
Yeah. So
Last week, did we at all talk about kennel cough?
I think
didn't we?
Yeah.
We mentioned that
I think
as
so.
a thing for people to be
Because
on the
it came
lookout
from
for.
a question. What was the question?
No, we talked about declawing too, didn't we?
Yeah. But I don't remember.
I just
how.
wanted to make sure that we had covered that as far as kennel cough and it being out there right now. We're still seeing a lot of it. So
Anything else that people should be concerned about as the holidays
candy
approach?
ingestion.
Candy ingestion. Okay.
You know, a lot of people think of chocolate as the main culprit, which it is. I mean, granted, but in milk chocolate, like Milky Ways and Three Musketeers and things like that, we're not going to see too much chocolate toxicity with milk chocolate.
Right.
But the new wave of buy this chocolate bar and you save the forest. You know, those chocolate bars that are like the big chocolate bars and they'll be like 80% cacao, as Johnny would say.
Right.
And so they're really like heavy, like dark chocolate on the percent of heavy dark chocolate. Those can actually cause. We've had a dog die, from ingesting that. And so chocolate, although is a risk, really it's sugar intake that's a problem.
Right.
So we see severe cases of pancreatitis associated with that. As far as cats go, they're really, they don't get themselves into as much trouble as dogs, but you can still have them. Foreign bodies would be the most common thing. So strings and, stringers, anything like that that they'll play with, they will eat it and swallow it by accident. So then we end up with linear foreign bodies, usually starting at like Halloween and on, because people are decorating their houses for different things. And so, foreign bodies, I would say, is a bigger risk factor for cats than the actual products, the candy and whatnot. And then I would say also for dogs would be the sweetener substitutes, the xylitol, that some people will put into some of the sugar-free stuff, is also toxic to dogs. So we got to be careful of that too.
Be super careful. Keep those sweets high and away from your pets.
Just another reason to eat them yourself.
That's right. Consume quickly.
So
it's so funny though too, the cacao or whatever, the different gradations. You'll go to Fresh Market and you'll see different bars.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Those really fancy
It's so weird though because growing up we had chocolate. We had milk chocolate and that was it. There was no.
They might have had that special dark chocolate, like Hershey's special dark chocolate. Do you know the Hershey's
like high
special,
school maybe,
right? But I mean,
we never saw dark chocolate.
And you always avoided those mini. Remember the mini chocolate bars?
Yes,
by Hershey's, and then they had the Mr. Good bars.
Oh yeah,
the special dark bars, crackles, and then regular Hershey bars.
Yeah,
and I remember, people would always avoid the special dark.
You pop in your mouth, like, oh, dark chocolate, come on.
Yeah,
not good, not cool. Crackle is always my favorite. Crackle. Did you have a favorite candy bar growing up?
Whatchamacallit.
Dude, that was mine.
Oh, see, we were meant to be together.
See, I used to go to get whatchamacallit. I remember at the Roane County Park, we would get. I remember getting chili Fritos.
Oh,
like
yeah.
the little bags of chili Fritos.
Yeah.
And you get a Coke or Fanta. We used to really be into Fanta, either orange or grape.
Yeah.
And then whatchamacallits. I remember when whatchamacallits came out because they advertised on Saturday mornings back when you'd go watch cartoons on Saturday mornings.
Right.
And I think that was it. I remember liking peanut butter Twix too in high school. I got in trouble once in English class because I was eating a peanut butter Twix. You know, this is a pops into my head. This is a real quick story. I had a freshman in high school, not a good student, this guy, and I had a lady named Mrs. Fran Scheidt. That was her name. She was German. I mean, German. It was Scheidt or something like that. Anyway, she yelled at me once because I was eating the chocolate bar in class, and according to her, it hyped me up and whatever. I mean, that wasn't what was going on. So I get called to the principal's office, vice principal's office. He goes, "I don't want you going in that room with the candy bar." I was like, "Okay." So, like the next day, she walks in and I'm standing outside class eating the car. She goes, "I thought the principal told you not to eat one." I said, "He told me not to eat it in the classroom."
You're a jerk. Oh my gosh, that's hilarious.
True story.
That sense of humor is so our children.
Yeah. So yeah.
Didn't Holden say something last night that was like that or something?
Yes, that's what I was gonna say. It reminds me
what did he
so
say?
much of our kids. Well, he'll always do that funny thing. He'll be like, "Ha, Rich." He's like,
That reminds me of Jared.
yeah.
Because Jared could not
He'll do that
stand
fake
to be
laugh.
made fun of.
He'll do that
He's
fake
like,
laugh.
That's what it was. The Jared story that you told last night at dinner.
What was Jared's story? I don't
Him
remember.
about I think like you were out with his girlfriend or something. Out with the dinner.
Oh, yeah, we were out at Cracker Barrel, and Jared was ordering breakfast, whatever, and he goes, "I'll take it this over easy." And she goes, "Don't you mean scrambled?" He goes, "I don't know, maybe whatever." And she goes, "I think it's scrambled." He goes, "Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't know you're such an egg expert." He was just like my mom insofar as quick wit. I mean, spot on.
Gosh, that's so funny. I didn't know you were an egg.
That's such a great story.
God. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I live with. That sense of humor. It's a great sense of humor.
And there was another time Jared was talking to my dad. And Jared and my dad used to have this pressure washing business together. And they had a pressure washer, and he was talking to my dad, and he goes, "Dad, we just put 2 wheels on it and drive it to the job." My dad's like, "What?" Just stupid stuff like that. That was, yeah. This is so my dad too. They had a job on the Strip on UT campus, and they cleaned a Ruby Tuesdays. And when you do that, all the stuff that you wash goes into a big trash can on wheels. And my dad was supposed to take it and put it in the grease trap, but he said he accidentally did it, but he just took it out on the Strip and just dumped it on the Strip. That big slick as a cart, runs down there. So he probably had a crash. So yeah, lots of funny family stories. Gosh, for days. So anyway,
Yep.
Was that?
Yeah, that is definitely Holden's sense of humor because he says funny things like that all the time.
He's always been like that though.
Yeah.
He's always been very quick-witted and funny like that, and especially with his brothers too. I mean, he'll say things like, now he and Calvin have a cute relationship, and they'll talk. And he said something about what's the name of his new sugar glider, Oscar. Yeah, so they were going.
Oh
back
yeah,
and
we
forth
added
today.
Oscar to the family.
Yeah,
because he's just too nice of a person.
He leaves in about 10 months probably to go to school.
Yep.
A little over that.
But he texts us from the pet store, which I'm like, why are you going into a pet store? You of all people should not be going in and out of pet stores, because he's got too soft of a heart, and he goes in there and he sees a sugar glider living by himself, and he knows how.
He and Evelyn used to go there and hold the pets. I'm like, what are you doing?
Yeah,
that's for you and your girlfriend going on a date. Let's go to the pet store.
So they went in there, and he knows how sugar gliders are supposed to be taken care of because of his own work and his own research and all that. And he sees the sugar glider by himself with no wheel, with no this water from this source, and no. He's like, I just can't leave it there. I can't leave it there. And I was like, that's fine. Just go get it. So he went and
he bought it
and
with his own
Evelyn
money.
bought it. Yep. So
He does have a very big heart. He's always been like that, though.
So now Oscar is being
Part of the
acclimated to Toast and Rio.
How do you think that's going to go?
I think it'll be fine.
Do you think so?
Yeah. That sugar glider seems to have a pretty calm personality.
Yeah.
He's pretty chill.
What was the backstory, though?
I don't know.
Dropped it
I don't know
off?
if he knows. I don't know. I don't know if somebody like sold it to the pet store,
Right.
gave it to the pet store. I have no idea.
Huh. Well, they're supposed to be in pairs. I didn't know if maybe they had one and they just couldn't do it.
Right.
So, Oscar ate the other.
Yeah. Maybe.
Yeah, maybe. You'll find out quick. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens. But you don't have to have them in even numbers, just no fewer than 2, correct?
Right. I think so.
Okay.
Holden knows all of that. I don't know enough about that.
He does a pretty good job.
Oh yeah.
I mean, he probably could clean his cage a little bit more frequently, but for the most part, he does a really good job. He likes to get him out and let him hang on his hoodie and stuff.
Yeah.
So it's cool. He's a good pet father. So as those things go.
Okay. Well, we'll probably wrap it up there for this week.
Yep.
And we'll be back next Monday, somewhere around 10:30, 11
Yes.
for the next episode of Five Boys in a Business.
Trying to put together some interesting guests to come on to round out the rest of the year. So it should be interesting going forward.
Don't forget to check out asvcmerch.com. And I'm Emily King.
I'm Richie King.
And we'll see you next time on Five Boys in a Business.
We're out.